So we got a few minutes, and we get let the crowd gather in. For those of you that are not for those of you that are familiar or not familiar, we're going to bring in the newest member of our cast here. This is the Black Pantherette of Capital K9. We're going to put up some video tomorrow. You'll watch on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to show you what the Black Panther here can do with a protection dog. All you big old tough boys that think you know what you're doing, just see if you can copy her moves. If you can, send video. Anyone who can copy her moves, I'll send you a K9 Pro Sports security system bikes, bumper sticker, and a shirt. By golly, I don't think you can match it. So the Black Panther, Scott, Mr. Sinclair, who you are this week?
Good, how are you?
Better about a minute.
It's almost Friday.
It's almost right.
Yeah.
Troy says hello.
Hey, Troy, how you doing, bud? Corey, you need to come out again and spend some time jawing with us. You ought to come join us on the podcast one of these days.
Yep.
And of course, we got Carol Ann, our intrepid cameraman, who's disguised as a woman.
What you mean, camera girl?
Camera girl, excuse me, Pantherette. Yes, ma'am, that's what I mean. Our intrepid camera girl. I stand corrected here. Probably so.
Yeah, love her.
And Troy said he will. You let him know when and where, and he'll be here.
Hey, whatever, give me one day's notice, you'll be here.
Okay.
Whatever works for you, buddy. Whatever works for you. So, we get, of course, the thing that I'm most known for this time of the decade is the Western Shepherd model. Right? And people all think of Shepherds, they think of German Shepherd, protection dogs, you know, but now the Belgian Malinois is a new dog, and then they got a Dutch Shepherd, right? And then,
Now it's taking over the German Shepherds, protection dogs.
yeah.
But it's still, but it's still considered shepherd.
Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to put our microphones on.
Yep.
Ha ha! Hold on, everybody. We're gonna mic up.
You're the one
Is that
girl.
okay, Troy?
Troy, can you hear us?
Troy, what it sounds like.
So it's a good thing.
Sound if it's good, sound if it's not.
What's he say?
He didn't say anything yet. He said, yes, he can hear us.
Okay.
Sounds good. I'm gonna hook up these mics while we're at it anyway. We'll plug them in, so. Now, I remember when the Rottweiler came here, it was all the rage.
Yeah.
And before that, there was Doberman, and everything had its own raging time. And, you got this, girl.
Sorry, let me turn that down. They said they barely can hear you. I'm typing in that you're fixing it.
Okay. I gotta remember which way this goes. Which goes into what. Sorry for the dead air, folks. We'll fix it just a minute. It goes into there. It goes into here. We're starting another series for those that are interested in high-tech stuff. It's called Everything Not to Do. We're trying to shoot videos and podcasts.
God dang it.
Like there's
Say something, Scott.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Give us the signs, Troy.
Is that any better? I think it is.
Okay, he says can hear you fine.
Okay, it's better than good.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so Rode Go wireless microphones. Anybody wants to start a podcast? Best things in the world.
Yep.
So, the Shepherd is the ultimate protection breed, everyone thinks. And we have started a project, as you know, about 15 years ago to make a healthier German Shepherd, recreate a German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a breed that was close enough to the German Shepherd, which has always been one of my favorites, but was unique in a lot of ways, like no undercoat, so you don't have the shedding.
Hypoallergenic.
Huh?
Hyperallergenic.
Yeah, there you go.
Hypoallergenic.
Hypoallergenic. I guess the only shepherd dog that's hypoallergenic. We're also looking to keep the power and size of the shepherd, and where the average shepherd's supposed to be 85, 90-pound males, we can typically turn out 100-pound males that are way faster than,
Athletic too.
yeah, very athletic. So, you know, all the time we've been on doing this podcast, we haven't talked about them that much. I should have had Bart in here too. That's the other thing I forgot to do. But you're not going to come as, these dogs have got some qualities that are unique, and they are uniquely qualified as security dogs. The pups, you know, they're not pricey, but we sure are picky who gets them, because we follow all our pups till they're adults. The original goal was to breed a perfectly structured dog. By that I mean no hip dysplasia,
Right.
extremely athletic, and you know, that's what I think we've accomplished. So,
So you said the dogs aren't too pricey.
yeah,
What's the most expensive one ever sold?
the most well, that's a story.
Right.
That's a story. This is one of those where people are going to say, Butch is spinning whoppers again. So, in the very beginning, I had mentioned to a few friends of the project, I thought I had Bart and I had Maggie, and that was going to be the foundation dogs for the breed. They hit everything I wanted. Hips were perfect, amazing athletic ability, great size, great temperament, love kids. So I bred Maggie again. I started calling out to some friends, say, hey, you know, if you want a pup, but you're going to have to bear with me for 2 years, and I've got to see what they become and all this sort of stuff. So one of the friends I had that did that was a guy named Guy Mesker. He used to be pretty well known in the MMA circles, and he is now Dr. Mesker, working with a lot of the PTSD people and doctors that are working on that. And he's looking for a shepherd. He got one. He loved it. And he says, hey, Butch, looking for the first litter. He was working with this group of people, these doctors who they were going to be PTSD brain specialists. And there's a big charity event at like the poshest town zip code in America, which is about 50 miles north of us. And he says they're going to have a raffle, and they're raffling off a Bavarian riverboat tour cruise.
Dang.
Yes. They have a defensive, ultimate FBI defensive driving course for terrorists, course that you can take for a week. All these really
Dang.
unique stuff, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So, guy says, well, I'm going to call him and tell him about your Western Shepherd. Why don't you raffle off a pup? Auction off a pup. Okay. So, time come. Then the pups are just born. I didn't bring a pup with me, but a good friend of ours who's a Navy SEAL, he went for display with the auctioneer with his little Mal, right? So we're all here. I pull into this country club, and I knew didn't belong. Because I drive up in my Suburban, right? And I'm pretty cool. I like my Suburban.
Right.
It's a good car. I couldn't see one car with an American name in the whole damn parking lot. If it wasn't Lamborghini or, you know, it was.
Right.
And we get in there, and these people, they got people walking around with trays, and they're giving you drinks and little bitty sandwiches that you can eat in one bite and all this stuff. You know, not the place to be if you're hungry, I might add.
Right.
So, and I was hungry. This is rough. So they start with their little auction, and they auction off the Bavarian tour, and it's like $40,000, $20,000.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Then they have the two I remember most was it's either CIA or FBI driving defense course for kidnappers and terrorists, right? How to drive defensively and beat a terrorist. $20,000, and I turned over to Ryan, a little Navy SEAL buddy of mine. I said, you know, this is going to be kind of embarrassing when we offer them a puppy, and the bidding doesn't get over $500.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm thinking seriously about just checking out of the place.
Slide out the back door.
Yeah, and they call out, all right, we have Ryan so-and-so, and he's got this, we got a Western Shepherd puppy, yada, yada, yada. And they started bidding. And the auctioneer started it at 10,000. And the minute she said, bidding starts at 10,000, someone went,
Big.
no, here, okay, I got 10, can I get here 15, get him 15, get me 15, I got 15, 15. They get up $20,000.
Holy smokes.
And it goes dead. And I'm thinking, Jesus. And I was in the bathroom listening to all this, right? So I come out of the bathroom looking around going, hey, that's me, you know. Do I hear 21, 21, 21? Hit, I got it, 24, 24, 24, 25. Do I hear 25, 25, 25? Hit. $32,000.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
$32,000.
$32,000. Woo. For a puppy who turned into a great puppy. In fact, they came back and bought one directly from me after they made their donation. And that one later stopped a burglar in their home.
Wow.
So,
It's worth the money.
yeah, probably worth the money. But that's the most expensive. That's the most money I've ever paid to heard of being paid to possess a puppy. Can't say I got the money. I wish I had.
Right.
But I don't mind. I went to help somebody for a great cause. So,
Well,
what do you think?
well, I've been thinking, we train dogs here, protection dogs, and got a great team on the obedience, Caroline and Carrie, training dogs, and sometimes it can be difficult. But how hard are these dogs hard to train, or are they easier to train than other protection dogs and obedience dogs?
I see somebody waving their hand now.
You talking about the Western Shepherds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been around a lot of dogs. Hands down,
This is Agent Butters over here.
the easiest dog, the most reliable dog, the most faithful dog I've ever been around.
There's an
Ever. If you do what you're supposed to, I've done everything Butch told me to do. Hands down, the best dog I've ever owned. Their Western Shepherds are my favorite.
probably, there you go, unsolicited, right?
Yep.
Unbiased. So I'll put it this way to you. We give free obedience lessons with every pup that we sell. If you can come here. If you can't come here, we send you a video course. Because if we're going to have a really good breed that everyone wants, that they can really do well for their family, then I've got to know this is new stuff.
Right.
This is all new ground, right, Scott?
Yes, sir.
So I need to know what the end results are. Every time we breed, we never breed a female back until her first litter of pups are at least 18 months old. That's when I'm going to know how good her puppies were.
Yep.
So we offer free obedience classes and all that sort of stuff. And if someone wants to do protection training, because really protection training is where I think these dogs excel,
Yes.
we do that for half price. Now, there is a problem with that. When I go to get paid for training a Western Shepherd as a protection dog, I have to go backwards and just kind of ask them, because I can't look somebody in the eye and take that much money for so little work. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at, well, I'm going back to Maggie May, Bart's sister. We had her in 45 minutes. We had her going from never seen a bite suit in her life to jumping hurdles to take somebody out.
Yep.
So that doesn't mean she was really well trained in anything. It just means she can get the concept that quick and they're that competitive.
So, with that being said, it seems to me like, would you call him a natural protection dog? It's built in.
Yeah, that's a good term. Everyone likes to talk about the natural protection dog.
Right.
See, the only natural protection dog I know is every dog. I mean,
Can I say something to that?
Yeah, Karen.
I think dogs are naturally, because y'all are packed, and even in the wild, dogs protect their pack. So I think that's a natural instinct. But the Western Shepherds are so family oriented. I don't know. I've just noticed a lot with Bullet. He's so my people he's my people. Does that make sense?
yeah, perfect sense. Yeah, Carol Ann?
Yes, Carol Ann.
Well, the
Speak up.
Doberman and the Shepherd, I've experienced both.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that the Shepherd, for me, is by far more family friendly than the Doberman
Right.
because of my experiences with Dobermans, and now I have a new experience with a Western Shepherd.
Yep.
And by far, that child right here, I'm gonna give her to you, right there.
There you go.
She can squish him, lay on him,
Yep.
do bite work with him.
Not that we can
Turn around.
condone laying and squishing your
Squishing
dog.
But
I'm just putting that out there,
yeah,
I'm just saying,
she's
but.
just laying by him, pressing on him, no issues. Sweet as ever.
So
Mm-hmm.
there we have it, folks. You have testimonials from Western Shepherd owners, and they're absolutely right. Great, they're great. Even the pups. I mean, well mannered, very loving, very loyal. But you got loyal dogs. Once they hook onto you,
Oh, there you
forget about it.
They're yours.
They'll protect you.
Yep.
We had, in fact, and anyone who wants to check this out, don't listen, take my word for it. You can go on Facebook, look up Western Shepherd Family and Friends. I'm gonna give you an idea of how loyal I'm not gonna give you an idea of how loyal they can be. I'm gonna let Carrie. Briefly, you want to tell us about Branch? And Branch had Maggie. Like I said, this is Bart's sister. This dog.
Sure, let me come in there.
This. Uh oh, get in here.
Let me come in here. Hi.
So,
Okay, yes.
and so everyone knows because Carol Ann's our new technician, camera person, all that stuff, and she didn't want to be on camera because she's wearing a bikini and she's kind of hot, and she didn't want to.
I can't.
So what, Mina?
And dogs can be easy to train or hard to train.
There you go.
That's right,
There you
that's
go,
right.
Black Panther. So, tell us, like I said, Branch Warren, if you don't know him, is one of the world's top bodybuilders. He ain't small.
No. he's not.
And when he was looking for a dog, and I had Maggie, and she was right at a year old, and I was looking for that special person that could handle her, because Maggie is not, I mean, Maggie and Bart were like no other dogs I've ever been around.
They needed special people. We
They
have a
need,
question.
they need special people. What's the question?
How well do they get along with other dogs? Oh, can I answer that?
If you're quick.
So Bullet gets along really well with other dogs. Off subject. I can put him. That's how we will dog test some of our dogs. We'll bring Bullet in. Great with dogs. McCoy, Cole, they play all together. They're amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
thanks.
so
Sorry.
well, I mean, they don't even chase cats.
I have 3 cats at home.
Yeah. I got 25 or 30 wild feral cats that run around this place killing rats. Bart just walks past them, and
Oh yeah.
these are very calm, good-natured dogs, but they're intensely loyal, and they do kind of make their own decisions. So Branch has taken Maggie May, and takes her to the gym with him to work out and the whole bit, right? He has to, because when he leaves the house, she opens doors and does everything she can to run down the road and follow
She
him.
can unlock deadbolts.
Yes, yes. So, but in the gym, learning about her initial sense of responsibility and loyalty, tell them a little bit about what happened.
Absolute favorite story. So you know when you're a bodybuilder, you do the weights. You have to have a spotter.
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 Mhm.
So Branch has the spotters, and I guess when you grunt,
Let me flesh it out for her a little bit.
yeah, because I'm not. well,
She's not a
apparently I don't
bodybuilder.
grunt.
So he's doing bench presses, where you're laying down on your back and you're pushing up with all you got. Do you grunt? Oh yeah. And take it from
And
there.
when you grunt, that means you need help, right?
Well, no, it just means
Or-
you're straining your guts off and you might need help.
Okay, and so when his person goes to help him, Maggie is tied to another bench.
No. She started off just laying there at the bench.
Okay, they couldn't get the weights off of him because Maggie was trying to protect Branch. They thought they were hurting him, so it took him a while to get.
Let me redo it a little
Yeah,
bit.
you tell the story.
Yeah. It's more of a bodybuilder story.
Yeah,
So
he's
he's-
you
he's-
could do the bodybuilder.
he's pushing out the last rep of his bench press, and Maggie would follow him around the gym. She follows him everywhere. She never more than about 3 feet from him, right? So he gets on the bench, starts pressing and he finally gets to near the end and he goes, "Ugh," and his spotter comes over for safety's sake to cover the weight, and Maggie who's sitting beside him, jumps up on Branch's chest and curls her lip and growls at the spotter, "Get away from my daddy."
You tell the story much better.
So, oh, well, I've heard it several times. So what do? Branch says, well, we got, he's getting ready for the Mr. Olympia competition at this time. So he said, well, we got to finish, and I got Maggie, so he decides to tie her off to a bench. This is what Carrie likes, her part, that she was going to tell you. They tie her off to the bench. He gets back under the bar, pushes as hard as he can, goes, spotter moves up, and all of a sudden they hear
Here
this
comes-
screech across the floor. Yeah.
Here
Here
comes
co-
Maggie pulling bench and all.
Bench and all. Going, you ain't messing with my daddy. So these are intensely loyal dogs.
Yes.
Look up Branch Warren. I'm sure if you give him a call, he'll be glad to tell you the story because he likes to brag about his little girl as well. So these dogs have a great sense of responsibility that, it's just natural. And they're just a calm, laid-back dog, but they bite like banshees and fight like Malinois.
Well, looks like his daddy.
They do.
Someone said, I can attest to the Western. My gunner is definitely tuned in and the most intelligent dog I've ever owned, and I've had some amazing dogs.
Really? That's
Yeah.
nice. Who is that?
How do you pronounce that name?
It looks like it's
Masada 79.
Masada.
I have a gunner too, but he's a great daddy. Okay, I'm gonna get a picture.
Oh, okay. So,
Special guest appearance.
special guest appearance by Agent Butters. There you go. Hey, you can sit over there with Caroline. You got to get your bikini on. That's
That's what we do over here. Right?
So, what do you think, Scott, about that one?
I think that it's true. These dogs here,
You've been you living with McCoy right now,
Yeah.
and you see us when we train, and you're our agitator. You know,
he's him and my other dog are like two peas in a pod. Like I said, getting good along together. But one thing I noticed about McCoy is when I come home from work, I'll come in and the other dog will come greet me. And McCoy will come in there and get in between and he's jealous. I'm like, what you doing there?
Yeah.
He jumps up and gives me a hug.
Yeah.
But outside, I got a runner gate, and he goes back and forth, and nothing's coming in that backyard. Nothing. Not McCoy out there.
Right.
But no, great dog with the kids too. Fast learner,
Yeah.
Yes.
very smart,
Super
Right.
fast learner.
and very agile. He's very agile. He comes out here on all the ramps and everything else, and
Yeah. Very athletic. Very athletic.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm
Chad Carroll said he's considering switching breeds to one of yours dogs.
Well, I would say with no prejudice, bias, or forethought, that's probably the best decision you've ever had, Chad.
Yeah.
I would think. No, honestly, I'm like I said, go on the Family and Friends Facebook page, which I have nothing to do with,
And these dogs,
and see what everybody says.
Yeah, everybody that owns a Western Shepherds is on that, and they have their own, and they're all positive.
and these
Either
dogs,
Butch, you got really lucky, or you knew what you were doing.
I got lucky.
these dogs for protection work, they love it.
Yeah.
Full bites,
How is Bullets? Like, honestly.
full bite. I mean, everyone I've ever decoyed, and they don't, even the young ones starting off, it don't take long. All of a sudden, you can see them. All of a sudden, they're opening up,
Yeah.
and they're doing what they're supposed to do.
So on that score, remember I said the people who donated the $32,000 to get the female,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to name names here for reasons that'll become obvious. They called me a year later and said, we love her, she's amazing, we can't believe her, we want a male. So they bought a male directly from me. And when the pup was about 9 months old, the lady of the house called me and said, you're not going to believe what this pup did. And I said, what's that? And she said, now, remember, they live in a neighborhood that I don't live in, and Scott don't live in, and we're never going to live in. But it's a neighborhood, and they live like everybody else, except that where we do spring cleaning, apparently in their neighborhood, they do spring remodeling.
Oh, yeah.
And they like rebuild. Oh, let's add 14 patios, enclosed with a swimming. So she says there's construction workers all up and down the street, and she is in the back with the maid who's ironing, and the two dogs, because she's got a male and female now, start barking. And while they're barking, got on their nerves a little bit, so she hollers at both of them to shut up. Be quiet, hush. They quiet for just a split second, they start barking again. She hollers, calls them by name, each one, tells them to hush. The female comes running back to the room they're in doing the ironing. The male stays at the door and is still barking. So she gets mad because he's barking. She goes through what's a really, really big house and goes out to the front entranceway, foyer, the living room, whatever you call it. And there at the doorway is the male pup, and he's got every hair up on his back from his tail to his ears, and he is just growling and barking. Let me give you a description, physical description. To get to their place, if you came from the street, it would be 25, 30 yards up to the front door. But you don't just come to the front door, they have a patio area to the front, and it's enclosed with a wrought iron gate. And then you come in through that, and there's the front door that opens into a very large foyer area, and then the living room areas, all that starts back behind that.
Right.
So it's pretty spacious. And this dog is standing at the doorway of the foyer, barking at something on the other side of the iron gate. So she immediately goes over there and looks, goes out, takes the dog by the collar when she realizes there's something there, takes him by the collar, steps outside, and she sees a person on the other side of the street who raises his arm, and I'm not going to be politically incorrect here. I'm not going to be ethnicity. I'm not going to say any sort of thing that's ethnic. I'm just going to say, quoting her, this character, she also saw a couple spots of blood. And this character who's standing now in the street turns and looks at her and raises an arm like this and goes, "He beats me. Your dog, he beats me." Bites me. And the wrought iron gate is wide open. The foyer door was open. She slams both doors and tells him, "I'm calling the police." And he takes off running. Apparently it was a construction worker, and he thought, for whatever reason, let me just stroll this house. Maybe he thought no one was home. No one knows.
Check it out and
check it out.
Scope it.
Yeah, and the two dogs started barking at him, and when he retreated, the male, which a male should do, had the tendency, and reached up and bit him. This, at the time, was a 9-month-old puppy. Just past puberty. Had no idea how to fight, had no idea how to make a bite, but he was going to make a statement. And that's a tendency. I could tell you about a half a dozen stories of, in fact, I'll give you one more quick one to give you an idea of how protective these dogs are of their territory. Another gentleman who had a female, she was like 10, 11, right at a year old. And his father lived right down the street from the son and the wife and the family. And apparently comes over all the time. They're in and out, kind of real close family. And one day, while the man of the house is at work, the father-in-law was supposed to come over and do some stuff, and the wife had gone to pick the kids up at school. So there's nobody at home, but they're right at a year-old, I can't remember exactly her age, a year-old female shepherd, Western shepherd. And the lady's phone rings, and it's her husband saying, "Hey, where are you?" And she says, "I'm picking the kid." "Well, our dog has my father cornered." Yes, true story. He can't, every time he moves, she starts growling at him. "You need to get over there right now and get her." So she immediately turns and Paya's back. She called father-in-law on the cell phone and says, What's she doing? And he said, "Well, I walked in the door and I said her name and she started growling at me." And then I froze, and she laid down, and I froze, and every time I take a step or move, she gets up and starts taking another step closer to me and growling. So this was a right at a year-old female who, even though she knew the man, knew him well. He was in her pack's territory
Yep. Without the pack being there.
without her pack.
So it's just actually protecting Dawson out, but protecting the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can I say something that real quick?
please.
I have friends that come over all the time, and they're over. They come clean my house every 2 weeks. They will not enter my house with bullets there. The bullet will hit that, and like if I'm sitting in the living room, like my daughter comes over, her boyfriend. They can come in if I'm in the house, and they'll wag their tail. If I'm not in the house, my other two will let people in. Bullet, even if he knows you, if
You
we're
don't
not
come in.
there, you can't come in the house.
Nope.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. So all in all,
Well, Butch can, but
I'm great grandpa.
yeah, he helped raise bullets. So I mean, but
Yeah.
that's pretty much the only person that can go in my house.
Yeah. So all in all, I think there's a lot of great breeds and a lot of great dogs out there, and and believe me, I'm not into selling my dogs to everybody.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, no.
that's how you get the AKC stuff, and I ain't doing that. So, but if you do your homework, people a lot of times are asking me, "What's the best breed for me?" I want best breed for that, best breed, and I tell everybody, do your research, find out what the temperament of the dog's supposed to be, kind of what the job they were first designed for is, and then the last litmus test is stack up your top 3 to 5 picks, the best pictures of all 3 to 5 picks, look at them and say, this is the best looking, and then take that one. Because I don't care what happens with you and your dog in your future. If you don't think he's the prettiest dog on the planet, you are always going to resent feeding that sucker.
But-
So that should be your final test.
Yeah.
Can I say something about the Western Shepherd real quick?
Sure.
Their temperament is hands down the best temperament I have known for the period.
Absolutely.
Best temperament.
And she-
Best temperament.
And she's a professional dog trainer, so I know she knows what she's talking about. Thank you, Carrie. Checks in the mail.
You know that, but you were saying, they asked you what dog should they pick, and like we talked about that specific dog, like I said, you gotta love your dog.
Yes.
it.
To go is, and then you'll know inside your heart when it's the dog you want.
Like
Exactly.
I know Bullet is my soulmate.
It's a good way to put
I mean, like,
it.
seriously, that dog is
Yeah.
he's my other half. It's the craziest thing. I love my dogs. I've had a great relationship with all my dogs, but I've never had a bond like I do with my Western Shepherd. Never.
They're special. We got a question.
They're the wrong kind of owner for a Western Shepherd. Yes, you could.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've actually one. Now here's the thing about the Western Shepherd. They're totally devoted, extremely submissive, but they don't take no crap. And we've had 2 people who, in one case it was a child in the family, and in one case it was the adult in the family who dished out crap to their Western Shepherds. Now, neither one of them got bit, but in both cases I was called and told by stuttering people, please come get this the dog out of my house. And we took them back.
Dog's fine, right?
Other people took them in, and they were great. So that's the only kind of person that should not own a Western Shepherd. If you're the old school yank and crank trainer, if you believe that you got to be alpha dominant, it's just not going to work.
No.
These dogs work with their family, and they want to please. But I'll be honest with you, I've seen some of those old time yank and crank individuals get a Western Shepherd and just go, damn, I never had to yank and crank on him because he just figured it all out the second time I told him what to do. So there's my testimonial. There's Agent Butter's testimonial. And Scott, thank you for throwing in your
true.
2 cents worth.
Yes, sir.
Carol Ann, your bikini top slipping down here. Better pick that up, girl.
Sorry.
I will be owning more Western Shepherds.
Yeah, so
All right.
Are we?
anyone got some more questions, boy, please throw them at us. There's nothing, and I think Scott's a Doberman man, but he's a convert to the Western Shepherd. So any questions you have?
I'm bipartisan.
Our first bipartisan
Mine
dog
wasn't
man.
really a dog person. Then he liked healers, and we got him a healer. Now we have a Western Shepherd. He will only own Western Shepherds from here.
So,
I'm bipartisan.
Bipartisan. We got.
We got a guy that's gonna own a Western Shepherd and a Doberman.
There you go. So,
Chris likes the Great Danes too, so I think we'll always have a Great Dane.
ain't nothing wrong with that. So,
Yeah.
any of you bipartisan dog owners out there, let us know. Again, hit our Facebook pages. Agent Butters has what, one more
There's
question.
One more comment. I think most working type of dogs, if you form a working relationship with, will bond with you and want to do everything you want.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more. Great,
Yeah.
great comment. Who was that?
Chad Carroll, the
Chad.
one that wants to switch to our.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He owned
yeah.
Aussies. And
Oh.
He said he had bred and raised HOF female. What's that? Velcro dog?
Hall of Fame.
Hall
Hall of Fame dogs. Yeah. Great, Chad. I appreciate it. And he's a dog man. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
appreciate that. That was very good advice to everybody.
Yes.
Yep. So we're gonna let you guys slip off and enjoy. I think we got another question.
No.
Oh,
I just, if you ain't having fun,
you ain't training dogs. Good night, folks.
Good night.
I bet y'all forget to put that in there at night, huh?
Oh yeah. We hadn't done it in a while.